Okay.
Hey guys, sorry we missed the beginning part of this call, but you're gonna love the remainder because it's gonna be amazing. I'm about to share my screen. We're gonna watch a little bit about our playbook that we're looking for from Dave Ward and his team, Fit Club Nation Network, something like that, Fit Club Network. And I think it'd be really good for us to discuss. So this is going to talk a little bit about Daily Shake and uh, committing to be product of the product. So I think this is a really important one that we want to make sure we are consistent with. All right, here's a little bit of Dave. We'll do this as we do. So push play and drink Shakeology. Here we go.
I am back with the playbook. This is, of course, our 10 rules for success with Team Beachbody. It's really the 10 things that have become second nature to me, a part of my life. Stuff that I have over the years learned, practiced, succeeded with, and now am teaching to other people. And I want to talk about two of them today, but really I'm going to narrow in on one of them. And those are number 4, which is push play, drink Shakeology, and number 5, which is share your story. And I say that because I'm going to do a deeper dive on share your story. But I think what you're going to see here today is that what I'm doing is I'm sharing my story with you. Okay? So let's go back in time to 1996. At that point, I was a spry 24-year-old male going to San Diego State University. And I was really lucky that my cousin was the college basketball coach for San Diego State. And his son was going to San Diego State as well and became friends with mine. And we were going to try out for the practice squad. It was actually kind of a baller back then. And I loved playing basketball. I was a total gym rat in high school. I played one sport, and it was basketball. My friends were playing football. I was shooting free throws and shooting threes and waiting for them to get out of practice. So looking for people to play one-on-one with when they were playing soccer or running cross country or playing baseball. I was in the gym shooting hoops, and it fed like right into my little competitive nature. And so I was going to try out for the San Diego State practice squad. I was nowhere near good enough or big enough. I'm like 5'9" to be on a Division I college basketball team. But my cousin seemed to think we could qualify for the practice squad, which just would have been fun, right? It would have been just an opportunity to play some organized basketball, work with a coach, and I hated pickup ball. I don't play anymore, but I really hated pickup ball. Anyway, so I was practicing for that and getting ready and working out a couple times a day, playing basketball every day. And one night we were playing basketball at this church, and I decided to stay. He left. I decided to stay for one more game, and it blew me out. Somebody got up underneath me on a fast break. As soon as I hit the ground, I heard the pop, and it was like I knew right away. I torn my ankle up, and so I knew like what that was all about. I knew right away I was really hurt. And I remember the next day we had like this kind of Roman bathtub in the house that I lived in at the time. So I went and took a bath. The next day I woke up. I think I was like out of the bath and it had just ballooned up.
Hey, Dan.
The next day I woke up and it was
We can only see your Facebook.
with a stick.
Oh gosh. Sorry.
I knew it was bad.
I'm listening, and I'm sorry I had to read through this message.
Process. Actually did several months, almost 6 months of rehab. Then I had the surgery. Then I had to go back and do the rehab. The second time around, I really wasn't very enthusiastic about it. And if we fast forward almost 10 years to 2003, I was like a little old man. I had just gotten to the point where my knee had atrophied. By then I'd finished at San Diego State. I'd gone off to law school. I've been practicing law for a couple of years. And it just got worse and worse and worse. I was just rapidly becoming.
So he's going to talk about his, basically this is him getting into Beachbody.
$1,000 a year. And there's a little bit harder version of the same workout and a little bit easier version of the same workout. But the strength training workout, and it basically looks like 6 was the next program. 6 was a ton of squats.
Okay, so he's going to talk about how he gets into the program.
Happening for me in the beginning, I had to modify, and just no way. I wouldn't be able to ski. I just got back from a heli skiing trip. And he said, "Do you want to run and jump in your life?" I said, yeah, I'm thinking that's going to be pretty important to me. He's like, then you need the surgery. And as it turns out, that's
So hold on.
any harder. I couldn't push my body any harder. My body that just, it's like a suit of armor for me. Now, on the performance line too, which I'm a huge fan of, and again, like
Sorry,
many of
that's
this
the
round,
spot where it was.
around something. Does it have to be P90X? No, of course not. This is
Sorry,
my
go back
story
here real quick.
for me. Now, push play drink Shakeology. Why? Because you need to become a rabid fan. You need to build a story around something. Does it have to be?
Got it. Everybody good? You need to build a story around something. I want to have you guys share a bit. What is your story built around? I know what mine is. I'd love to hear what yours are. Jen, you want to share?
Sorry, I couldn't get the unmute button. I think my story is really built around being a stay-at-home mom and building, financial freedom and a healthy lifestyle, not only for me, but for my children as well.
Okay, so that's the business side. Now,
Okay.
how about the fitness side?
Oh, the fitness side, my stories. Actually, that's pretty easy. So I've dealt with sickness for 17 years of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've had, chronic illness after chronic illness and just, a lot of internal issues and stuff like that. And what I'm leaning towards right now, I've been really writing it down and trying to figure it out, how to play out my story. But it's going to be about how, drinking Shakeology and how fitness is helping me internally, less doctor visits. This is, good blood levels. This is, so many different things I went through. I haven't seen the doctor. I can't even tell you how long it's been now that I've been drinking Shakeology and working out. So my story is built around a really unhealthy and sick lifestyle to, something healthy and just phenomenal.
Okay, that's great. Yeah.
That's where I would like to lead it towards, because that's what I have.
Which is interesting to think about, Jen, because here's the issue, because you've got some sick, like, physical results, like the way your physique looks. You've done a really great job with that. But it's interesting that you're capitalizing on that, and I think that makes you more relatable to a wider public.
Right, and not even just my age, just people in general.
Totally. Yes, and I think that's one of the, especially for like some gals who particularly will go after like, hey, look, I've got some great abs or whatever, things like that, and then 52-year-old mom, mom who's let herself go is like, you're so far unrelatable. But when it comes to this story, I think that's very relatable to a lot of people.
Well, and I've had like 5 or 6 stomach surgeries, and I still am it comes and goes, but I do have abs. There's times where they're there. You can see them. And I've had, say 6 surgeries. That's not normal for an everyday stay-at-home mom. But it shows them that, you can have it if you work for it and take care of yourself.
Yep. And so that's the side benefit, right?
Right.
So, and I think that's maybe what would be part of your story to tell is like, abs can be the beginning or can be the outer reflection of what's going on the inside, or whatever, that kind of a thing. How about you, Nancy? What's your story? What would you focus it around?
So I think mine would be more around the unhealthy approaches that I took to health and fitness, and the obsession versus the obsession with the whole body image, the obsession with being thin and the crazy things I did to do that, versus the healthy approach now. And I was thinking about it the other day that, I really seriously, I used to work out like an hour and a half a day, if not 2 hours, crazily and now I work out like 30 to 45 minutes, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Gives you a lot more of your life back too, right?
Yeah. So no, that would be my that is my platform, I guess.
So How often have you shared that?
Couple times, few
Mm.
times.
I
Yeah,
think-
not very often.
yeah, Nance. I would say you'd be surprised at different facets of that story that you could tell. You know, like literally what you just said there was like, I could see it totally. I used to work out almost 2 hours a day or whatever. I used to be feeling that I was never enough. I couldn't be enough. I needed to do more, blah, 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 blah. But now this is what I've found is
Mhm.
this, right? And I've got my life back. Or even just that would be simple. I got my life back because of, a new mindset, a new approach to this, a different approach, whatever. And I'm telling you, man, so many people I think, could really relate to that part of things, where that it becomes, fitness became an obsession in a bad way, right?
Right.
Um,
Right.
I went the dark side of fitness. I mean,
Right.
seriously, that would be not. I mean, the dark side of fitness, And I would say, guys, every good thing can have a bad side to it, right? There's a flip that just about anything can have. So yeah, just turning that gem around, because that's a huge story to tell. And all you have to do is just take a different facet of it. And I'd say probably at least weekly, girl, you probably should share some part of that story, I would think. And it'll never get old because you're sharing different parts of it.
Right. Yeah. True.
See, and the perfection mindset.
Perfectionism.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and that's part of what you've been struggling with. That's great. So, Claire, how about you?
Yes. So mine has kind of evolved. First, it was to get in shape. I was working out, but not getting anywhere with it. I did some kind of protein diet before finding Beachbody. I did all kinds of different things, and nothing ever stuck. And when you eliminate, I've seen, with Jen, she talked about it too. When you eliminate something on your diet, you'll always go back to your regular diet, and you'll just put the weight back on.
Mm-hmm.
So really, I mean, honestly, this has been just the most maintained and steadiest 4 years that I've ever had, really. I mean, since my 20s, which I didn't really have to worry about. I was always running, and
Yep.
but metabolism changes as you get older after you have kids, and I mean, Jen knows that. And so just after 40, I think that's my crowd, and just kind of showing that with, just hang on a second. My daughter, no, go up there and I'll be right there. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
sorry.
Duggan?
Okay, so yeah, just showing that we can. I mean, I can, be resilient and keep that maintained lifestyle.
Yep.
And I think I've seen that people have reached out to me. You're so consistent, and that's one thing that I wonder how to respond to, because oh, you look so great, you're so consistent, I see your posts all the time, and it's like, it may be someone I've already talked to as well, and it's like, well, you can do that too. And I don't know how to, not like persuading them, but I don't know how to like kind of approach that. Well, you can too, other than me putting in a post telling my story and say you can too. But of course I don't get as many as much feedback from that. So
Well, I think things like you're mentioning is like, you can say, I don't know if you can dress up this way of saying, but I was a fad diet junkie, or that kind of a thing. I would cut this out, cut that out, cut out full food categories, which is very typical. Does that sound familiar in any of the current diet situations, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
yeah, I know there's some science behind ketogenic diet, but man, it's rough, dude. There's a lot of rough science on both and on the side that says, hey, we're going to completely cut out, and we're going to do a high fat and very wait, what? So it's just like, anyway.
Yeah, I think all in all, I've posted my story here and there. I mean, a lot in the last 4 years. I've gotten a lot more in the last year and a half or so.
Yep.
Better. So I think if I just keep doing what I'm doing, it'll pay off. I mean, people are watching, so
Yep.
I'm not too worried about it. I think I've got.
Well, the consistency thing, I think if you mentioned that point being, yeah, you can too, is one way of saying it, but I think you can also probably approach it from the aspect of it didn't start that way.
Yeah, you're right.
It didn't start that
I
way.
need to go back. That's
and I think that's the problem is too many people see the quote unquote end result because we're never done.
Yeah.
But right, it's like where we're at currently, and they don't know all the steps that got us there.
Mm-hmm.
It's the consistency that, of course, that did get us there. But I had to start somewhere, and
Post the whole picture out again.
yeah, and just remind yourself why did I start this again? What did I actually do? What were my first steps? And I think those guys are, and you can talk about the stumbles initially out of the gate. It's like, I always talk about pretty frequently about, and you remember I'm like Coach Sneak Peeks where I talk about, P90X, the first workout. It's legit, man. When that first workout, when I was, they asked, I could do probably 15 push-ups total, and they're asking me to do over 100 within the first workout, and on top of that, do pull-ups while you're doing that, and I could do 2, and they wanted me to do 50. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, what? So yeah, and I had to modify like crazy, and that's what I did. But so yeah, and of course my whole story with diabetes kind of hitting with that kind of a thing. So you heard some of that, but then also really establishing, I think, a lifestyle that's gonna honor my family, honor my wife, honor my my passions and all those kind of things. So that's part of my story as well. But really, guys, for me, it's building it around the fact that our overall system continues to keep me on track. And it's also the coaching part of this too, is that's part of what keeps me going on this. And not that I would probably necessarily fully fall off the wagon, but I often say this, guys. So I'm going to get a little scriptural on you here for a moment. But so there was a place, and it's in John, I believe it's John 6, where so a whole bunch of people, this is where Jesus talked about the fact that unless you eat of my flesh, because you said this, unless you eat of my flesh, you can't be part of what I'm doing here, basically. Drink my blood and eat my flesh. Like, what? And like his audience was like, dude, what are you going to cannibal on it? We're going to go cannibal on you? This is so weird, this teaching. This is really hard teaching. His disciples even says, this is really hard teaching. And so, the scripture says, which is funny because I always think about this, but it's John 6, verse 66. 666. Woo! But anyway, so, and many deserted Jesus that day. Okay? Which is the thing. And basically then Jesus turns to his disciples and goes, hey guys, so what do you think? And he goes, so Peter's the one who answers, and he goes, so well, to who else will we turn to at that point? Like at this point, like where are we going to go? It's like, you've told us the words of life, these words, we know you're something special. You've told us something amazing. To where else are we going to turn? And so for me, guys, and I don't want to like overly boost this whole thing up, but I'm saying like this is where I'm at. I love what we do here. And I know it's good, like there'll be seasonal stuff, and that just kind of rolls. Sometimes it goes, but like, again, I'm not going anywhere when it comes to this. So it's a matter of just refiguring out for the next season how I'm going to tell my new story. What's my new story for this season? So, as we approach here, come up to the new year, I really hope you're looking at things like the 80-day obsession, and you start maybe considering bringing some people on board. Maybe it's time for them to experience something more than a 21-day, because they know they can't get the full transformation in 21 days, and then the truth is they can't get fixed in 21 days. 80 days, though. 80 days. You can get a lot done, and that's why P90X is so effective. Guys, back in the day, literally, and it still even happened, so many of the Beachbody Challenge transformations started with that. They start with a 21-day maybe, but then they go into a longer programs like 90 days, like full out. It's not true. You're not doing 21 days and getting a great transformation. No way. You got to be way longer than that. So anyway, just throwing that to you. And I like the fact that I think it's going to help the boredom factor, because how many times can you do 21-day fix in a row? You know what I mean? It's like, again, and then you're hopefully getting the bonus workouts and all that kind of stuff. But it's like, man, if I got 80 days and it's mixed up all in between, man, it's going to be really, really helpful. So, Jen, what were your first impressions of the 80-day?
That's funny. I was just messaging you guys in the chat. So it's going to kick your butt. I would not say it was for a beginner, because you do have 3 resistance bands. Today's workout didn't have the sliders in them, but it's pretty intense. I mean, for me, I got to be honest, for me, I don't want to say it wasn't hard, because it was hard, but because I've done these programs like 22-minute hardcore and stuff like that, it was just, it wasn't as intense for me as it would be for a beginner. So it might actually kind of scare a newer person. Mm-hmm. But if they start out fresh and see that, if they start out fresh with 80-day obsession, then they wouldn't know anything different. If they've never done anything else and they start with that, they actually would get they're going to get killer results, because in 21 minutes, you work up a sweat. And I don't sweat. But I think she's really utilizing good moves. And yeah, it's not going to be easy. But it's definitely going to be worth it.
From the videos, guys, I just it always amazes me. I don't know about you guys, but seriously, I'm like, how many more things can you come up with in terms of our bodies? In every freaking program, there's new, well, that's a totally different. I didn't even know about that. How many more squats can we do? But they always do something different, and it's like, it ends up being new and it feels new, and I just love how they do that.
Well, and even tonight, it was an inchworm with a resistance band. I'm like, who thinks that? That's working like your triceps and weird, in different parts, and you're like, man, I can feel that sucker. Yeah. So it's going to be a great program. I highly recommend it already. I know that she's going to whoop us into shape.
Yep.
That's going to be what I'm planting. I'm definitely planting seeds. Like I said, I started today to plant the seeds.
Yep. And shooting some video of that, shooting the video of what you're doing.
Yep.
Doing some of the funkier moves, like that inchworm thing, might be kind of go, wow, that's weird.
I broke my band, so I have to go get some new bands. So I had to use my medium size and then double it up. That was not easy. But it was good. It was good. I really liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And guys, the last thing I would say, as we're going to close out here, but is a Shakeology story is critical too. You got to have a Shakeology story. So you can have an overall mindset transformation, all that stuff. But when it relates to this particular product, it's really, really helpful to have a Shakeology story. And if you don't have a Shakeology story, you got to find one. Because ultimately that's going to help you be able to, to talk about it in a less salesy way. It's like, we got a Shakeology story and, different aspects. I was saying I'm a recovering Shakeaholic. In my current existence with teaching, dude, it's like lifeblood for me in the morning. It's my morning snack. I literally pour and go. Like teaching, I'm busy. I'm on the go, dude. It's like I don't have time to go and make a crazy big snack. So, it's good stuff. All right, anything else for the good of the order? Gotta get running. All right, well, guys, thank you so much. I'll post this as quick as I can into the club this time. It won't take forever. And I hope you guys have a great one. We'll see you next week and keep rocking our November. Here we go.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Thanks, Dan.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.